And some of you might be having guidance come through in this way to you at this time, maybe through songs as well, certain phrases. Sometimes you even just hear conversations going on around you or over here, and it just feels very synchronous to some sort of situation that is going on in your life. So if that's kind of resonating already, then maybe there's more messages here for you. I'll kind of cover what came up while tuning in, and then we'll get into the tarot. But first, I do want to announce that I am running a flash sale. You can get 20% off any of my services using the code VEILISTHIN through November 3rd. So if you're ready for that deep dive, definitely snag that while you can. You can also find links for my website and all of my social media accounts in the description of this video, as well as links for donations for those of you who feel so called. Now, the energy I tuned in was kind of mixed. I was just getting sort of a plethora of different things going on. I do feel like for some of you, there could be a financial situation. Maybe some of you are dealing with some debt. Maybe some of you had unexpected expenses, and that was actually kind of the thing that came up pretty dominantly for me. Maybe some of you do have our debt, or you're paying something off, and now there's like an additional expense that's causing some sort of distress, whether that is medical bills, some kind of fine, something that wasn't necessarily expected, but I do feel like you're working something out. And the message I heard there was see this through. So I think there is a solution here. There are ways forward. Your guides, your ancestors, your angels, whoever it is that you work with are assisting you right now, even if things feel kind of tight or insecure. I know for a lot of people that's actually going to be resonant at this time, especially if you're in the US. When I was connecting, kind of asking about relationships, I did also hear, I'm sorry. So maybe someone is going to be apologizing to you. Maybe you're apologizing to somebody else. Maybe there's even something with forgiveness that's coming up as well. And kind of just connecting to the energy overall, I really do feel like some of you are... There's almost like a rebirth that's going on, and there is like a letting go of something that feels scarier than it actually is. And I mean, at the time of this recording, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, we are in Samhain, or Halloween. This is naturally a time of shedding, of endings, of death. And it's almost like as things are kind of going into dormancy, as they're sort of returning into the spirit world, there is this portal, there is an ability to let things go, to shed things, as well as to connect to energy or spirits that may be harder to access at other times of the year. So it does feel like there is an opening. If there are endings in your life, I want you to really consider that this is a chance for you to plant new seeds. You've kind of weeded a garden, so to speak, or there's been some clearing that's been going on. I did actually pull a couple of animal cards here as well, and the first card I got was the otter. This is actually a really joyous, celebratory card. So I do feel like there's something here about taking things on a lighter note, celebrating when you can, finding joy when you can. That was actually also a message I was getting, is find beauty even in the little things right now. That's something that could be really important. Connecting to art, connecting to your creativity, whatever it is that just adds a little more beauty or joy to your life. That is something that is incredibly valuable, especially if it just feels like you're kind of in a grind. Maybe you feel like you're in a slump. Maybe it even feels like things are a bit challenging right now. It gets you out of this sort of monotony. It gets you out of this thought pattern that you're in. I did also get the bat as well. And I mean, this is like the perfect card for this time of year, because the bat does often represent transitions, endings, even darkness. But bats have this beautiful sense of hearing, this ability to feel and navigate through the darkness. Actually funny that I was bringing up clairaudience, because bat to me really does indicate some connection through auditory channels. So again, really paying attention to what the universe is trying to tell you, whether that's through a stranger, a child, whether it's coming in through your own intuition or through songs, music. I think that's just something that's really important to pay attention to. Maybe I'm actually getting like something with a family member communicating to you via songs. Like you might be hearing old songs that remind you of a person who's no longer with you, or just remind you of an earlier stage in your life. Maybe you're meant to reach out to that person. That might even be kind of the I'm sorry or the apology that I was connecting to as well. So these are just sort of the overall messages. Maybe some of these will apply to you. I am curious to see what comes through in the tarot for this group. So I am going to start shuffling now. And as I do the shuffle, I'm just going to give my friendly reminder, these are general readings. So not all of the messages that come forward are necessarily going to be meant for you. It's up to your own intuition and discernment to figure out what applies to your own life and what should be left behind for somebody else. I invite you at this time to even pause this video and really feel the energy in your body. That way you can best discern what is meant for you at this time versus what is meant for somebody else. And maybe this came up for you to share with another person as well. This is not zodiac specific. Anyone is welcome to watch this. And again, this is a timeless reading, so some of these messages, you might be in different parts of the journey or story that I am describing. So kind of keep all of this in mind. Interesting. I do feel like maybe there was some sort of setback in the recent past with the Page of Cups. Really could be about relationships as well. Sometimes the Page of Cups in reverse represents unrequited feelings, unrequited love. But I think it is just something about feeling like a setback, a disappointment. Maybe you received some news that was disappointing or kind of shook up your sense of faith. I could actually really get that based off of the energy I was pulling a moment ago. But I did get the Three of Wands. And so for some of you, you've already been looking forward. You've been kind of refocusing your energy on the things you can control, on outcomes that you still can influence. And if you're not doing that, that's sort of the advice I'm getting. For some of you, there may even be travel plans. Some of you might even be making plans that you were originally going to do with somebody else. So maybe you were going to go somewhere with somebody. Or maybe there's something else that you were planning to collaborate on. You did not miss or lose an opportunity just because somebody else is not in the picture anymore. That does feel like a really important message. Somebody might have come into your life to bring a possibility to you or make you aware of some sort of capability. And that's just kind of the sort of role that they were meant to play for you at that time. But it does feel like someone is out of the picture. What else do we have? What else do we have for this group? For others of you, this really could just be about something that was like, there was some sort of disappointment, something emotional. It doesn't have to be about a relationship, although that is kind of the dominant thread I am getting. Wow. Yeah. Three of Swords in reverse. I really do feel a lot of you are recovering from some kind of heartache, from some sort of setback, maybe even a betrayal. I do feel like someone is apologetic. That doesn't necessarily mean that you need to trust this person again or bring them back in your life, but that does seem to be the sentiment somewhere. Doesn't even necessarily mean that someone has changed either. I want to offer that. Just because someone feels bad and apologizes doesn't mean that they've learned their lesson. It doesn't mean that they've actually changed. And that just feels like something that's important to highlight. Six of Swords in the past, or Six of Swords in reverse. Yeah, but I see this card and it reminds me of something coming back from the past. Like not quite being able to move forward even though something has been like, something's done here. You've moved on. In the present, right now for this group, I'm almost getting the sense of like, you can't move backwards, you can't go back, but you might also be struggling to move forward at this time as well. But I do feel like whatever is kind of a setback here is temporary, because you did get the Three of Wands. It does feel like there is something to look forward to at this time. And I think that's just kind of the advice. Keep looking forward. Keep planning for the future. I almost feel like some of you are sublimating some kind of loss or grief and channeling that into like a new project, a new goal. Yeah, Two of Pentacles. It does feel like some of you are juggling the old and the new. You're in a transition right now. And part of this transition is that maybe you're taking on a little bit more. You're juggling some things, but I do feel like you're capable of this as well. Maybe some of you are working on a side hustle or building something, kind of planning for the next stage while you're still in a place right now. I feel like you need to make moves for those of you who are resonating with this message. You know something needs to change. You might not be able to make this change right away, however. And I feel like there's something about planning. There's something about sort of working behind the scenes before you make this next step, before you make this move forward. Interesting. I have the Knight of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles. So this really does speak to what I've been talking to, where it's like working hard, consistently, and stably towards something. Dedication, consistency is key. I do feel like a lot of you are building something that's going to be quite stable for yourself. And if you are in a situation that feels unstable, I think you are making steady progress to fix a situation. I just saw 1111 when I said that on the camera. So I do feel like there is something that you're able to solve. And it feels like you are doing this work yourself. And as you're committed to this, maybe there is some assistance that comes in as well. Maybe there is a helpful person. I did also get the sense that there might be a windfall or some unexpected money coming your way as well. Seven of Wands in reverse. I feel like there's something about conserving your energy. Not every fight needs to be something that you get engaged with. Because I feel like there might be someone in your life or kind of a situation in your life where it's like the more you fight it, it's almost like you play into their hand. So I want you to be really selective with where you're putting your energy right now. Don't get stuck in like an ego struggle or a power struggle. What are the blessings for this group? Where is all of this going? Interesting. So we do have the Wheel of Fortune with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So again, I do feel like you're coming out of a period of instability with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Maybe there was a loss of stability, but with this coming out as a blessing, it does feel like there's some unexpected turn of the wheel, some unexpected new opportunity. And it feels like something that's almost beyond your control. That almost feels like a divine intervention. And it feels like there are larger forces that are working in your favor right now. Yeah, I feel like some of you are really turning around your financial situation, especially if there was someone from your past who kind of screwed you over. Maybe someone you were supporting financially. Maybe there was even a divorce or separation. Maybe there was an opportunity that was lost with a relationship that's no longer in your life. Let me see. Yeah, I accidentally knocked some of these cards down, and it was the Eight of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles with the Seven of Wands in reverse. Someone tried to knock you down. Someone tried to take an opportunity or maybe even steal your work. Maybe it even felt like the work you had done had been for nothing. But it feels like, honestly, I feel like you did the right thing. And maybe you're feeling like you got screwed over for that. But it's almost like there is some sort of, I almost want to say like good karma that is coming out of this. You're not being punished. There is a reward that's coming in. Blessings here. We also have, interesting that these are coming in as blessings. We have the Star in reverse with the Chariot in reverse. Some of you were just going in a direction that wasn't actually what you desired or was fulfilling for you. You just felt like you needed to go down a specific path to make something happen. But I feel like there's a more direct route. There's a more direct way to get what you want, whether that is a career, a relationship, a home, financial stability. It feels like there is something here where I kind of think you are a little bit in your ego, where it's like, this is how I have to be successful. This is how I have to achieve this. This is the only way I'm going to be able to get what it is that I want or to be lovable. But it feels like there's almost something about you having a new path, a new way that is opening up for you. And I think it's important for you to be open-minded to alternative ways of being or alternative possibilities or different ways to get something done. Because I think you're finding a momentum with the work that you're doing. You're able to find steady progress finally, especially if it's felt like your effort has just sort of been in vain. Things haven't been working. So I do feel like there is like a change in the way you're doing things that's going to be really rewarding. And I think you're going to be figuring that out very soon. Or there's just something where you are being rewarded for the hard work you've done, and it might come in a little bit of an unexpected way, but it really is a beautiful blessing here. I want to pull one more card. What else are the blessings for this group at this time? Wow. Ace of Cups in reverse. I'm just going to be real. If there was a relationship that ended, this was not your person. You know, I don't want anyone getting caught up into this sort of like twin flame, soulmate kind of rhetoric of like someone's running away and they're coming back into your life. I feel like there is someone in your life who just was not meant to be part of this next chapter. And that might be really hard. That might be a release. That there might be a grief. There might be some emotions. That might not feel like a blessing right now, but I almost get this message of whatever didn't work out for you was actually in your favor. And maybe you're starting to recognize that. Maybe you're going to see that, especially as there is some opportunity for you. There is a greater sense of stability, of self-worth, having more for yourself. And in the context of relationships, feeling like you don't need to give up parts of you in order to appease another person or meet their needs. I feel like relationships in the future are going to be more mutually beneficial. There's more of an exchange, more of a give and take, and it just feels very natural. So I actually feel like that is kind of an interesting blessing, but that feels like the message that's here. Something did not work out in your favor. You're meant to do something in a different way. And I feel like there's a pattern. There is a cycle that you are breaking with the Wheel of Fortune that is making you almost settle for less than you are worth. You are worth more than this. I felt the mic drop in that. You are worth more than what you have been settling for. And I mean, these are general messages. This is going to apply to each of you in a different way. But I feel like that is what the universe, God, your guides, your ancestors, whatever it is that you work with, however you call that, or refer to that divinity, it really feels like you are meant to receive more than you are allowing yourself to receive. It is important that you know your worth. Because I'm going to be real, a lot of you have been settling. You've had a pattern of settling in the past. It's almost like you haven't believed in your own dreams. You didn't believe you were capable of something. You didn't believe you were worthy of a certain kind of love. And this might be very subconscious. Any other blessings? We have the Six of Pentacles. Yeah. I feel like some of you are quite literally receiving windfall. There is money coming in. There's also something about reciprocity. There is support. There is divine aid that is coming into your life, and it very well could be coming through the form of a person, a relationship, some kind of unexpected money. Whatever this is, though, it is a gift. It is a reward. You have been selfless, or you have sacrificed something, and that wasn't for nothing. But you're now coming into a period where you shouldn't sacrifice yourself anymore. You don't need to do that. And I actually think by stepping into that worth, you become some kind of like energetic match for this reward, for this windfall, for this generosity, for this care. So I think the message here right now is claiming your worth. Know your worthiness. Feel your value. And if you don't, maybe this is a time to work with affirmations as well. Write down the things that you find valuable about yourself, even if it's small, even if it doesn't feel consequential. Maybe you're just a good friend and that's something that comes to you. It's probably more than that, but I just use that language because maybe you don't know what your value is, what your worth is. And I think there is an inherent worth. There is something intrinsic here. You don't need to earn love or stability. I don't believe that. I think everyone deserves that. And I think a lot of the time, especially if you have been self-sacrificing, you would never make someone earn the love that you've been giving other people. So why are you making yourself earn your own love, your own respect, your own dignity, your own kind of belief in yourself? You are worthy of that. You are worthy of your own love, and you're worthy to receive that from other people as well. So a lot of kind of important messages here. I hope this didn't come out as like heavy-handed, but I do feel like there's almost this like, it feels like we need to talk is sort of like the energy I'm getting from whoever it is that you work with spiritually. They're really trying to show you something, and I'm going to be honest, I feel like a lot of you have not wanted to see it because you've wanted your life to go down a specific path. You were really focused on one outcome, on one relationship, but I feel like there's something even better for you in store. So there are larger forces working in your favor right now that are guiding you, that are moving you, and it's important that you trust in that, even if it means letting go of something or someone that you once held very dear. You were underselling yourself. So those are all the messages I have for you at this time. I say all of these messages with love, and I hope it doesn't come across as pessimistic or anything like that. I know sometimes when you're in those spaces, it can be received in a different way. I don't sugarcoat things either. I want to give you, I want to reflect what is happening for you so you can make empowered choices and move forward in actionable ways. So I hope you're able to get that. Definitely comment down below. How can you claim your worth? Give yourself that affirmation in the comment section. Let us know that you've made it all the way to the end here. And again, I am running a flash sale on my website. So if you'd like a personal reading or energy healing session, use the code VEILISTHIN at checkout before November 3rd. That way you can really kind of move forward with this energy. Maybe you can get that affirmation, that guidance, or clear out any sort of blockages there. Anyways, I'm sending lots of love and blessings your way. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.